Perfect.
Yo,
So
good?
we live
We live.
again. What episode number is this?
Made in Chafford Podcast, episode 38.
Yeah.
Yo, we're
38.
getting on a bit, aren't we? 38.
Yes, sir.
What's up, guys?
So happy to have
Special guest.
Deji on today. Been trying to get this one for a minute, but COVID-19 tried to block it, but we said no. We'll find other ways, and that's what we've done. So happy to have you on.
Thanks.
So,
Mike.
just let you start off by telling the people about yourself a bit, so that they know who you is.
Okay, cool. Hi, guys. My name is Deji Rachel. I'm a makeup artist. I'm based in Essex. And I do weddings, occasions, photo shoots, video shoots, all that good jazz. I initially didn't see myself being a full-time makeup artist, but I did transition to being a full-time makeup artist in 2019 October, and that was a very interesting transition, but we're here now, and yeah, I'm having fun.
Perfect. How did you actually get into it? Because it's a bit like all those, how people get into photography or something like that. What was the turning point for you that was like, yo, this is what I want to do?
I get asked this so many times, and I actually love answering this question. So initially, like since I was young, I was always into makeup, always stealing my mum's makeup, always like she was the type of mum saying like, you can't just go out and buy your own foundation this young, and I really respected her. So when I went to college, she was like, okay, you can buy your first foundation, and then it just went on to that. Like I enjoyed it a lot. Went to uni now, and initially I wanted to start my own MAC lipstick collection, because if you know about makeup, MAC lipsticks were the one back in the day. So I was satisfied. I had about 10 different lipsticks. I was like, oh my God, like it can't just stop here. Anyway, fast forward now, I was like doing makeup a lot on like Snapchat. Then somebody asked me, can I do makeup for their friend? They'll pay me. So I didn't even know how much to charge. I didn't have a kit. So I charged them £30, including travel. And at the time I was in Portsmouth. So I went all the way from Portsmouth to South London. Bear in mind, I practically used my own money to go into Superdrug and get the things I needed. And it wasn't all good stuff. Like they weren't the best stuff, but I was too excited. And then from there, people just asked me to do their makeup. I applied for a job at MAC, and when I went to MAC, I absolutely love makeup. Like I just knew that I wanted to do it. I wanted to pursue it. So I told myself when I was going to leave uni, I would pursue beauty. I wouldn't pursue my degree, because if I'm going to do something it's not as, the beauty industry is not, well, at the time, it was just on a come up. If I'm going to pursue beauty, I'm going to do it now. Like I've always got my degree. I can always do something with it later. So I left uni now, got a job with NARS. I got promoted at NARS, and then I got a job at another makeup shop called Morphe. And then I just got to a point where I was just like, okay, I had different like job opportunities approach me in different from different companies, different makeup companies. And then at first I was like, yeah, like I'll take it. And then I was just like, no, like I don't want to continue to be in this cycle, because it was retail. I don't want to continue to be in the cycle. So I just thought, you know what, if there's a time I'm going to go freelance and work for myself, it's going to be now. So I basically just said, okay, let me do it. Like, I don't have much responsibilities. I don't have kids. I don't have a mortgage to pay for. Let me see if I can put my name now. And if not, I still have like a backup plan. And it's worked out.
What was it like working in some of those places? Because it's just interesting. Was you like the only black person there a lot of the time? And I know the experience in doing makeup for black people is completely different to the experience it is for other people, and your our skin tones and stuff like that. So is that something you came across and you learned from?
So working in all those different companies, if I'm honest with you, the beauty industry in terms of, I only worked in the retail sector. I can't talk about corporate sector, but it is one of the most diverse industries, in my opinion. So when I worked in MAC, there was only like a small number of black girls, and that wasn't because, honestly, it wasn't because it wasn't because I didn't like black girls at all. I was really I'm friendly with the hiring manager and the area manager. It's just because in that how can I say, in those surroundings in Essex back in the time, there wasn't much black girls doing makeup like that, or maybe applying for jobs like that. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
there was black girls, and there was other minorities as well. But I wouldn't say that, you know, it was I was just the only one. And that goes to say, when I worked in NARS, I wasn't just the only one. A black girl was you know, the senior makeup artist of London. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just one of those ones where, as the beauty community grew and as more people started to apply, and, you know, anyone got hired, men got hired, females got hired. And when I worked in Morphe, they hired all types of people there as well, you know. So I don't think there was like any type of segregation. But then again, I was only in the retail sector. I wasn't in the corporate sector, so I can't. They're two different fields completely. So yeah.
No, okay. Well, one thing I like about people who do this, so the sort of makeup and photography sort of side of things, especially with events. What's that been your craziest story or situation that you've been in where you just, I don't know, it's just for one reason or another, it was just a crazy day?
Oh, that's such a good question. I would say, can I talk about like my client experience?
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Those juicy sort of stories.
So I had a client once. This was my first ever bride, and it really taught me that I need to not be scared of laying down my terms and conditions. Anyway, first ever bride, yeah, did a trial with her. She loved it. And then obviously, I don't want to give too much information because she may be listening right now, but loved it. Anyway, comes to the day, yeah, and she wants me to do like the maid of honor and other people's makeup. And she was like, she pointed to how she looked like in her trial, right? So she's like, I want you to do it like this. I was like, cool. So I did them first. And she was like, why do they look like me? Why are they going to look like how I'm going to look like? And bear in mind, in my head, I know they're not going to exactly look like that. She wouldn't talk. Like, she's like, why are they looking at me? Number one, you told me that that's how you wanted them to look like. You know, when you don't have an answer, but are you okay?
Yeah.
So she's just there sitting. She's sitting in the chair, and she's just been like, throughout the whole makeup, she was like, they can't look like me. They can't look like me. They can't look like me. And it was just going up and down and up and down. I spent much more longer there than I should have. And it was just, to be honest, that occasion, I even told myself that I don't think I'm going to do makeup again, because the amount and it was my first ever.
Your brides be the worst, man.
Is it because like the stress of the occasion, do you think? Like, you know, it's a wedding and, you know, it's about them, so they get a bit...
I think so, but also bridal makeup obviously costs relatively more than just your everyday makeup. So I feel like maybe it's just the fact that it's the stress that maybe they're paying so much and maybe you're not meeting their expectations, or your service not meeting their expectations. You know what I mean? Some are stressed, but one thing, the majority of my brides, they are so lovely, because we have to have a mutual understanding before the service commences. So if we both have a mutual understanding, if we both understand the terms and conditions, and we're both on one accord, there shouldn't really be a reason, unless you're proper stressed out, but there shouldn't be a reason why you're not happy in the service, because everything I stated is what you're going to get. Do you understand? But yeah, brides, I've heard of some horrible bridal stories, but thank God that mine was not too bad.
Yeah, see, bridezilla is a term for a reason, man. Because I don't even know what that is, especially when the trial went well. Like, that doesn't, how she's come to that conclusion doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly. It's the fact that she said, I want them to look like this. I was like, okay, like, but I've really learned that, like, if I have an opinion, I should speak it out. Do you know what I mean? In my head, I was just like, are you sure just like that? But I was just like, you know what she wants, she's going to get. Like, as a makeup artist, they trust your judgment as well. So,
I mean, it's similar to what, like, how can I explain it? Even similar to what my sister experiences in photography. And, like, the more you go about it and the longer in it, the longer you're in it, it's like you learn certain things, and there's certain things you won't put up with, and you won't feel comfortable with or agree with. So I get that. That does make sense. That that's something you come to learn over your time during makeup.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, is there any other lessons you've learned whilst you?
I've learned, don't let no one take you for a mug, like literally, like, all because you work for yourself, or because I work for myself and I'm a certain age, it doesn't mean that I can give people license to push me around. Like I should be able to stand my own ground, but in a very polite manner, in a very professional manner. Do you understand? So for instance, I had a lady who texted me saying that, oh, she got recommended by a stylist. I was like, okay, amazing. And then she asked me how much I'm going to charge. Bear in mind, I live in Essex. She wanted me to come to the other side of London, like I think even further than West London. And I told her the price and everything like that. And she said, well, I'm not going to pay you this much because my usual makeup artist is not free. I was thinking, but you know, you came and asked me and you came to me. So like, I think when I was starting off, I would have been like, okay, I can meet you in the middle. But I just had to stand my ground and say, unfortunately, it's not fair to my other clients if I, you know, reduce the price. This is how much I charge, X, Y, Z. And I just stuck to it. So with me, one of the t's I've learned is stick to what you believe in yourself. Do you know what I mean? Don't sell yourself too short at all. If you believe you're worth this much, stand by it. You know, the right people will come and book you. Do you understand? Long story short, with that lady, I told her no, like, period. And she came back, she said she's going to think about it. I think about 20 minutes later, she booked me. Do you know what I mean? So, are we really going to go through all this?
Yeah, it's just a negotiation tactic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that.
The thing
because
is,
a lot of people would do it. Like, even I would do it, but I mean, it's a negotiation tactic. I get it, but if the price is the price and you really need it, you get it. If you don't have the money, then you don't have the money. But if you do and you just wanted to be a bit cheeky, then I get it.
Don't get me wrong. There's people that tell me, especially when it comes to bridal makeup, like, there's people that ask me, okay, like, how in what ways can we reduce the cost? Do you understand? That's quite rare, actually, and it depends on how you approach the situation. But for you to tell me, no, I am not going to pay you this much, it's almost like saying, I don't think you're this worth this much. I think you're worth this much. And you know, we can't dictate our work. Our work cannot be dictated in the hands of somebody else. Like, if I believe I'm this much and I'm working towards this standard, then this is what I'm going to stick to. Do you know what I mean? And to be honest, there's much, even the price I charge is much more expensive makeup artists. And at the end of the day, if you were to go to those people, because they have a higher following, if they told you their price, you would not have said, no, I'm not going to pay you that. Do you understand? A lot of people look at your following and they're just like, okay, like, I can talk to you anyhow. But if it was like somebody with thousands of followers, I know this for a fact, they would not have spoken to that person that way. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you think it's like a black business issue? Because you know you're running your own independent black business, and sometimes when people compare like an established brand to, you know, somebody who's actually doing it themselves, they feel like they can potentially get away with asking for a discount or maybe trying to get more out of them. Do you feel like that's a direct, you know, issue as far as that situation?
100%. So much. Like, I've met strangers that want discount and they tell me, come on, I'm your sister now. I'm your sister. It's only in the black community. It's only in the black community. Yes, we are sisters, but sisters support each other. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sisters back each other up. Sisters want to see each other strive. You know, I do think it's something within the black community that they just expect a discount. You know, I think that I also had a customer that said, why do you charge this much? I remember just thinking, you know what, when I get there, I'm going to show you why I charge this much. So I got there, she was amazed. Like, she didn't think that I was coming to bring service. She didn't think that I was coming to bring artistry. She thought I was just going to come to her house with a little bag, do her makeup. She even told me her experiences with other makeup artists. That's why she was so shocked. So I think it goes hand in hand. I think it goes, okay, maybe black people see other black people and they're just like, yeah, this is a side hustle. This is something they do on the side.
Don't take it seriously, but it's, you know.
Seriously. Or on the other side, it may be the service that we have been given in the past. Because when I heard that, the service that the lady had previously with other makeup artists, you know, that's not cool. Like, that's not cool at all. But obviously that lady has only gone to a black makeup artist. She wouldn't go to a white makeup artist. So I don't know how it is on their side. I don't know how it is on other races' side. But surely, like, I think it's more of, you know, black people thinking that, you know, we can get a discount here and there. Just a little business, especially if it's not like accredited, something like accounting or something like legal services or something to do with property. Do you understand? It's just makeup. So they don't really see the fullest value of it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes as well, it's like if it's like family members, for example, you're at a young age, it's like, oh yeah, it's sister's daughter that's gonna come and do my makeup. Why is she going to be charging me this much? Like, with family, stuff like that. I understand it, but it's like, no, I've got to make a living, and you understand that this is the service you're asking for. You've asked the best person to come through. Somebody who's family, at the same time, someone who can do this at a professional level. Yeah.
Do you know who low-key be the worst for that sometimes? It's church. Like, they'll be saying, oh, you know, you've got a talent or something, and they'll be like, can you do a discount for the church? I've just noticed it. But it's something that is quite an issue within our culture and our way of life. It's something we need to get rid of, because you do put people off probably trying to do work that they would have done. So it's interesting that that's come up. But I couldn't agree more.
And I feel like it's more within the older generation. I don't find it in our generation or, you know, people that be older than us.
That's true, yeah.
Definitely the older generation, because the newer generation now have the mentality, a lot of us have the mentality of supporting each other to the fullest.
100%.
My friends will book me and they will pay for my services without asking for any discount. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think it's definitely like an older generation kind of thing.
Yeah. You wouldn't dare try it nowadays, especially with someone in your own age group. That's crazy to me to think, how can I get a discount from this? Or
pay the price, man.
For real.
Pay the damn price.
All right, so I guess moving on, going into the protests are still carrying on. Black Lives Matter is still a prominent issue. Nearly, I want to say 2 weeks on now from when everything first started. So we saw protests happen in London yesterday. In fact, even going back to earlier this week with John Boyega's inspirational speech. It's just been a crazy few days. How's everyone feeling about it?
It's a lot. I'm very proud of our generation for standing up for something that they believe in. I feel like it's an interesting time because it's a hard one to unpack, because obviously with everything going on right now, you know, in the middle of a massive pandemic, people are, you know, saying that it's not the appropriate time to be protesting. But I feel like it's just a testament to show how bad and how much we've put up with, that people are actually willing to, you know, put themselves in the firing line. So it's a lot, man. Personally, I feel like I'm with it. I'm with people protesting. I'm with people standing up for it. Because if we sit back and we pretend like nothing's going on, we're just being as complicit. So
stand for nothing or don't stand for anything at all, and that's so important and so true. It's just crazy how, you know, people are just not willing to rest, and that's good. They're putting their foot on the neck. It's just, to me, what's crazy is how much people are like trying to explain themselves, and people just aren't getting it, which is what I found the craziest about it all, is the fact that people are being like, this is why we feel this way, and for whatever reason, it's going in one ear and out the other. Like, they're having a rebuttal to people trying to fix racism. Like, that's crazy to me. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Personally, I am extremely, extremely proud of the Black community as a whole. I have never in my life seen the amount of unity shown within Black society than I have to this day. I've seen, like, we stick together, don't get me wrong, but we've really shown the world that we can really stick together, and that we do. Blackout Tuesday was amazing. You know, I follow so many people, especially creation content, people that make content, people that do videography, photography, you know, all that jazz. And literally on Tuesday there was nothing to see, because everything, I just saw black. And I was so proud. Like, I'm so proud to be Black. I'm so happy to be Black. But, you know, we really made noise. We really got the attention of the whole world. You know, they said that this movement was the biggest movement in history. I've seen that a couple of times. In terms of protesting, obviously in the pandemic, I just go back to Colin's point. You know, yes, people be questioning if this is the appropriate time, but the fact that people, thousands and thousands of people all over the world are protesting in the middle of a pandemic, you know that we've had enough. You know that we've hit rock bottom. And it's not just Black people protesting, it's white people, it's Asian people, it's people from different backgrounds, people from different, people from different states of the economy. Like, I think it's been a real eye-opener. And I think I'm personally really, really proud. Like, it's unfortunate that it came to the point where another Black man died at the hands of a white man, but enough is enough. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, enough is actually enough. So yeah.
No, I completely agree. It's just, and people going above and beyond. Like, I can't praise John Boyega enough for speaking out and doing everything he did and saying what he did, and even to the point that, you know, maybe he's worried about putting his career on the line, but at a time like this, sometimes you do have to say, you know, forget that. Like, that's just not what's important right now, and actually standing up for the things that are important and what mean something to you. You know, we've seen our generation really stand up, and it was a proud moment. And for the most part, they have been peaceful, and you're going to see it how the media is going to spin it that it's one thing when it wasn't. Like that whole thing with the traffic light and the police officer on the horse, like, they're going to try and spin it in a negative way, but for the most part, we've been peaceful, and we've gone out there and we've made people listen, which is the most important thing. But yeah, it's been crazy to see how it's gone from one point and just spiraled. And like you said, I think all 50 states in the US have been involved. Like, that's crazy. When has that ever happened? Like, there's certain states where I don't even think they'll feel like this is their issue, but they've stood up and been counted. It's just, people need to carry on. We just hope that it doesn't end there.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too, because that's the concern, I guess, that these sort of movements can sort of filter out or die out, but this doesn't look like it's losing steam. If anything, it's just carrying on and picking up steam, if anything. Eman, what are you saying on this?
Pretty much the same thing as you guys. You know, I'm very happy to see what's happened for the peaceful protest. People actually waking up and seeing, all right, cool, we do need to stick together, we do need to create a plan. And then also with companies actually putting money aside to help these charity institutes for Black progression. So that's all I can say.
Yeah,
I feel like my only criticism is, so with the Blackout Tuesday thing, I feel like it was a good idea, but it wasn't good execution. And I say that because, I mean, I feel like it came from a really good place. I feel like, I think it was 2 Black women in the music industry who started it, which is really good. And obviously it caught on everywhere outside of the industry as well. But from what I could see from like a bird's eye view was, I feel like it gave people a chance to attach themselves to the cause, but not actually be about the cause. And I say that by saying it's very easy to go onto Google and post get a Black background and put it on your Instagram. But it's also, I feel like it could have been done in a way where, okay, let's show Black content on this Tuesday. So everything that, every like Black makeup artist, every Black podcast, every Black TV show, every Black YouTuber that you know, post it on Tuesday, as opposed to blacking stuff out, because number one, it screwed up the Black Lives Matter hashtag for a bit. And two, I just felt like I feel like I saw a lot of people who haven't posted anything or even done anything to contribute to it, just now post a black screen.
Yeah.
And to me,
I get what you mean.
It made me a bit mad in that respect.
I get what you're saying, because I don't think it's a shame, because I think everyone was, like you said, they had good intentions, but I don't think they knew what to do once they posted it. So it was, the whole idea was that, you know, you're supposed to go and sign the petitions or donate and actually, you know, find ways in which you can help. Whereas I think a lot of people just posted the black box and thought, oh, that's done. But I think you was also supposed to go out and educate yourself and try and find ways in which you can help the cause if you do believe in it. So it's a shame that message didn't get out really. I don't know why not. I guess people just didn't know. That's the problem there. People didn't know, and that's what it was created to do.
Yeah, I know. Like the idea was really good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and criticize it. The concept was good, but I just feel like it was a bit misplaced. Because if you really want to cause a blackout in the music industry in particular, you got to put that on Friday, because Friday is when everybody puts out their new music. You tell the labels, you tell the artists, nobody put nothing out on a Friday. So in my mind, I was a bit frustrated, not with them, but with how people perceived it. But, you know, it's a minor criticism as far as everything goes, because there was a lot of good that came out this week compared to the bad.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's
I agree.
what I wanted to say.
I think going forward, but it goes back to what Eman said last week, like, okay, the protesting is good and we're being heard, but when you have the spotlight, it's also important to have a plan. Like, we need a plan now. What is it exactly that we want? You know, people are asking for police reform or just a pure abolishment of the police, but what are we going to do? How are we going to go about it? Like, what's the changes we want to see within our communities and our societies going forward? So that's what I would like to see. That's the next step. People actually saying, you know, this is the changes we'd like to see from our government and from the people in charge. It's just, I guess we also need leaders to step up and be like, yo, this is what we want as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's all good until it's all good until the next 2 weeks. We'll see what happens. Because what's most likely going to happen is that everyone's going to go quiet. The great thing about these protests is that it awakens, or it's a catalyst for people to actually study, know and understand what sort of pain we're actually going through in terms of just being black. But as I said last week, if there is no actual plan, if there is no actual demand for exactly what we want, then all of this is in vain. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say.
I mean, in the beauty community, there is a movement going on called Pull Up or Shut Up. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
Jackie, what's her name? Jackie
Aina promoted it, but initially was the founder of Uoma Beauty. She's Nigerian, who came up with it. And it's basically telling all these beauty companies to state the amount of black people, not just ethnic minority, black people that work in their corporate sectors. And there's actually a page for it, and a lot of brands did acknowledge that not enough black people work in their corporate sectors, and it's made them to realize, okay, there's actually a problem here, and now they've committed on working on it. They've recognized that there's a problem, and they've committed on doing better. And we're not just talking about because a lot of organizations just want to categorize it as BAME. No, they're specifically identifying black people, and there's some brands that have not participated, and if you go on the comment section, people are saying, where are your stats, so it's kind of forcing them to, you know, acknowledge there's a problem. There's some companies, I know for a fact they don't have one black person working in their corporate sector. And does that mean black people do not go for the job? No, it doesn't. They definitely do. We definitely do, but it's the fact that there's purely none that are hired. And those are the people that cannot come out. They've put a statement out, but they have not put the stats, and it's shameful. Do you understand? So and so it's forcing change. It's forcing that recognition. So I hope it makes opportunities to Black people available. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then how are we supposed to progress? How are we supposed to go up? You know, when people are shutting us down because of the color of our skin, you know, we're making our own companies, but these companies that are racist, they need to really acknowledge that there is something wrong here. Do you know what I mean? So that's an active change that's going on within the beauty community, and I actually hope that it stays like that forever.
Do you think is there still more progress to be done as far as like products and stuff? Because I know a lot of companies like have actually committed themselves to, you know, making their ranges more accessible for all girls of different skin tones, especially for Black girls. Like, I think Fenty do a good job of it. I wouldn't know myself personally, but do you know if there's any like companies out there maybe that need to, you know, get their act together a bit still?
I think within the beauty community, there are more companies that still need to get their act together than companies that have their act together. When Fenty Beauty first launched, they launched, I believe, they launched in 2018, I believe, and they launched with 40 different shades of foundation, ranging from the lightest of the light to the darkest of the dark, and no company had ever done that before. No company had ever, especially for the first launch. That means they've pumped a lot of money into it to appeal to all spectrums. Do you understand? It was a big risk, because a lot of companies will say that Black people don't buy our brand, but how can Black people buy your brand if you don't sell for their color? It doesn't make sense. So pumped in so much money, not even from the money they had made. They just literally said, okay, we're going to do this. And I think Fenty Beauty changed the game. Because next thing you know, other makeup brands are extending their foundation line and giving us more option. Another brand that was really, really good at color spectrum was MAC. And that was the only company that was really doing it for dark-skinned ladies. It's just that their products wasn't appealing to everybody in terms of formula, but they really had a good range for dark-skinned ladies. And that's why MAC was doing so well for so long, because no other companies was catering to the deeper range of ladies. Do you get what I'm saying? So when Fenty Beauty came, all the table shook for all the companies. The table shook. Everybody was running there. But I do think, even saying that, we're in 2020 now, and I'm still seeing, let's say, 18 shades that are good for light to medium, but medium to dark, I'm seeing 3. And is that real? Tom Ford put out a campaign last year for their new foundation, and it was about 24 foundations, and you just see one dark foundation in the middle. It was terrible. Like, it was, they had to delete the whole imagery. So I think it's terrible. I think the excuse we're still hearing nowadays is terrible, that there's not enough Black people buying our products, so we can't cater to them. Well, if you need it, then we'll buy it.
I think what is happening right now is that there are Black companies, such as Fenty. There are Black companies out there who are doing this, who are seeing the mistakes of these other companies, because you can't be operational for all these years and then not really cater towards Black people. So then I think what they've now done is like said, okay, cool. If that's your stance, we'll set up our own companies. And then even before Fenty, I know there was one lady. She had a business, and she says I'm catering towards darker skinned women, and she was doing well. She was flourishing, and I think that's what's going to happen in the next few years. I mean, if they don't step up and really fix up, then I mean they're going to be gone with the wind.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I mean, we're dealing with something now, but I mean, if you turn around and say that Black people are not really wearing makeup, and then there's a company like Fenty who is now about to become, you know, $1 billion company, if they're not right now, then it should click in your head and say, okay, cool, we need to do something.
100%. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
The room has been shaken. Jackie had her foot on their necks this week, so that was really interesting to see. But
these companies just got to read the room, Demi. Do you know what I mean?
There's too many examples of like being on Twitter and then a company saying something and it's like this you like so many companies have failed in the past. It's
This
crazy.
you's the best, man. I love that.
This you the best man. Even things that you love, like for growing up, I was really into WWE, but they've had examples of horrible storylines that have been racist. So I think everyone, like you said, needs to read the room. Like just
100%.
companies just need to do better. I think it's not that we're going to forgive them or forget their past, but now is the time to reflect and learn from what's happened and going forward, catering to everyone's needs and looking at even a brand like Fenty as an example of the direction people should go in.
Absolutely.
All right. So I just wanted to talk to you guys because I know Eman brought it up yesterday. Facebook being the worst, like it's just a bit of a hellhole at the moment, for lack of a better word, with people going at each other, and it's a particular type of people as well who are just not listening. Eman, tell them about your disdain for Facebook at the moment. Are you even going on it, or you already?
I've not been on Facebook. The only time I go on Facebook is to post my videos on YouTube. That's it. But as far as I know, Twitter's for like the younger generation, our generation. And Facebook is for the older generation, bro. Like people from their 40 and onwards, they are on Facebook. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's those sort of ideologies that are consistent in Facebook. I mean, even with like the I'm not 100% sharp on politics, but with Jeremy Corbyn's situation, and the Boris Johnson, when it came to elections, a lot of people were just throwing mad shade at Jeremy Corbyn. It was like, I didn't really know anything about that. And the same thing for Boris Johnson. I mean, you could speak about Boris Johnson for time. We even made a podcast, Boris is Blonde. But Facebook, the amount of shade they were throwing at him, and even when it comes to like Muslims, like it's like you could post one picture and everybody will find a way to come and post something in that picture saying this Muslim, this, that, he's a terrorist, blah, 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 and it's like, okay. Like, even if that might be your boy, but what had happened recently is that a friend from work, he's a fairly old individual, and he posted a picture. He's very understanding about the pain of black people and what we had to struggle through, to get to this point in our lives. So he posted up a picture about a black man and a baby girl on his shoulders, and then there's a police officer putting a gun in the face, and we just see like a bunch of comments where it's just like it's inappropriate. It's like, oh well, why is he going to the riot? Why is he going to the riots with his daughter? Or maybe she's going to be the one to carry the TV. This and that, and it's like, personally, I don't have time for that sort of energy because I know personally what I need to do to empower my people. I know what I need to do. I see the full image and the full scope and the spectrum of everything that's going on currently at the moment. But I know what I need to do. So when it comes to like those sort of comments, it's like I expected it from you. And it's someone I know, and it's someone I thought back in the day, I thought, you know what, you might be racist. But I just brushed it to the side, and then now it's
Facebook is the king.
It's confirmed. Hey, I've been in an unfriending spree every time I go on the past 2 days, bro. Like I'm seeing people's true colors the past few days.
It's like when you in school, you kind of thought, hey, yo, them man might roll like that, and then this is the time where they be saying silly things.
And then even with the like discussion of like someone at my workplace, if he's watching this, you know who you are. It was like, oh yeah, people going out there doing the Black People Matter stuff. It was like, it's Black Lives Matter. And then from then, he just went on a massive rant. It's like, yeah, but you guys robbing TVs. You guys are out here in London shooting, stabbing each other. I said, is that everybody? Is that me? And he's like, well, it was like, well, no, it's not. You're just putting an image upon people just because you want to. You're not really doing the research, are you? It's like, well, so shout out to him though.
it kind of goes back to what the media is also feeding us as well. Because when it comes to black crime, oh my goodness, it is everywhere. It is on every newspaper, but people are not like, as compared to, you know, white crime. You know, there's a lot of, I think there's like a really, really horrible gang in Glasgow, and they kill people, like they kill off people. That's not really highlighted in the media, is it?
I mentioned that when he discussed about black people killing each other, stabbing each other, I mentioned the people in Glasgow.
Like,
and he just didn't know. He says, "Oh, I don't know about them." I was like, "Well, they're not being told about."
exactly, and it's just a lack of understanding. Like, you're not, and it's like the media don't tell that. It's like they get all their money, they get all their entertainment from highlighting the failures of black people, highlighting where we've slipped up. You know, we nowhere have we claimed to be perfect, but they definitely profit off where we fall short, or where we maybe have weaknesses. And I think that's disgusting, because when it comes to white people, like, they don't highlight it as much, or they'll put a nice fancy title on it. Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why? Like, it's disgusting, absolutely horrible.
It's the Facebook thing, Demi, is more so a demographic thing though, and like a certain, I can't really say it without coming across rude, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, you will find a certain demo there, and they have their own community, so it's very hard to articulate our struggle to these people, because they essentially buy the propaganda that we're trying to
they don't.
down.
But do you know what's just crazy to me is the fact that we can. It's like, this is the way it is. This is how life is for us. This is why we're protesting. Like, you explain it to them, and it's just like, yo, racism is bad. We're just trying to either make the positive change or somehow do something positive. And there's a rebuttal. How can you have a rebuttal to racism? Like,
it's ignorance, man, and they have certain weaknesses that they don't stand for. Like, it's either the weather or it's patriotism. I keep telling you, those two things. If you attack the weather, or if you attack patriotism, you're in big trouble. Because when a lot of the arguments are about the World War thing got vandalized, so to speak, and like, that's what is fueling a lot of people's anger, of people, you know, essentially going out and protesting. And don't get me wrong, of course, this country fought a good cause. I'm not going to say it was a good thing to do, but you've got to look at things in the grand scheme of things. The people who vandalized that thing are people who are not there to protest. They're just people there to cause disruption. The 99.9% of people out there actually protesting are not doing anything violent at all. It's also with the horse situation, you know. We heard that the people protesting sparked the violence in order for the horse to get let loose. When we saw the footage, that was not the case.
no.
Eman, that was not the case. The horse
That lamp said
accord.
Black Lives Matter, man. Someone said he was running to the Lloyd's advert. I was crying.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's just media manipulation. So and they fall for it every time. So there's no point going to Facebook with your arguments, because they're not going to buy it.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
It's crazy. Eman, are you right with it?
The fact that he just went bang.
Hey, we shouldn't laugh, but he was seeing stars when he touched the ground.
Yeah, that looked dangerous, man.
He was on the ground just like.
I hope the bread's all right, but he doesn't look it.
No,
I hope he's okay.
But yeah, media manipulation, bro. It's in full effect. Even like lending to the topic you wrote down of Madeleine McCann. Like, you know,
sorry, man. Who really? I mean, listen, she's gone, fam. She's not to be disrespectful, but bruv, like, there's so many people that are disappearing, and nobody gives a damn about them. And then all of a sudden, she pops up. It's like, fam, she's been gone from 2007. Like, really and truly, when is she coming back, bro? It's either they found her and all the information was on Instagram about her being 18 and she's now been like a sex slave to one billionaire in the United States, so on and so forth, or she's actually dead. Like,
but they just keep bringing it up at weird times. Like, there was no need to bring that up. And apparently that story is old as well. So they've had that suspect since last year, and they just wanted to bring it to the forefront now
It's like,
to the
give up,
Sharks.
man.
They didn't even give up. It's done.
They're just getting lazy with
Not
it
to
now.
be disrespectful to Madeline McCann and the family, but it's like, honestly, you see what's going on, and then now you just found something like that. Like,
Yeah,
just
that's
pull it out.
definitely
Like,
it.
yo, we found Madeline McCann's suspect driver. This and that. It's like, really.
Mm.
The only thing I will say is it's kind of good because a lot of their tactics that they would have tried before, they just ain't working, or we're too wise for it now. So a lot of their tactics, the media's tactics that I think we would have fallen to before,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, nah, we're on to you. Like, I'm not believing that. We're not believing that. So I think it's good. Like, that something as blatant as that Madeline McCann stuff was painful to watch, and then trying to make it front page news.
It's pathetic.
Come on, my guy.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
But I think we've covered everything we wanted to. So
I think
that
the
was a
last one
success.
was just mental health, quickly, just to see
Oh
how
yes, of course.
everyone's holding up in these times.
Yeah.
I
Javel
think that's
mentioned that
important.
yesterday on his on the live stream. We're doing a talent show for the it was just the MIC live thing, and Javel, he definitely mentioned that, like, I hope everybody's mental health is okay, and it's very important to make sure that everyone is mentally okay. Right now I'm back to work. I've been back to work for like the past 3 weeks, but what I can say is, like, coming back to work, you know, coming back to work and then just doing what you need to do is calm. But, you know, the time that I'm furlough, just relaxing, just doing what you want to do, learning new skill sets is really nice. But I think right now, where everyone's heart is heavy, you know, and not everybody shares the same opinion as you, I don't want to say it's tormenting, but it's challenging.
I agree,
So,
bro. I definitely agree.
yeah. So
I
for
think
me, it's pretty much challenging. Yeah, that's what I
I
can
think
say.
the most
Go on.
difficult thing for me is just our plight being so simple. Like, it's what I've been going on about, I guess. But we just want this one thing, and people just not getting it for whatever reason, and trying to explain it to them, and them still not getting it. I think that's what I've struggled with the most, really. And then seeing it, people really laying out clear arguments as to why this is what we want, and this is how our life has been for generations, and we just want to see change, and people just not getting it and coming with rebuttals that are just stupid. There's no other way to put it. They're just stupid. So yeah, and I guess the longer it goes on, it will be frustrating, but it's a necessary fight. It's one that has to be made.
100%.
What about you, Paul?
I'd say similar to yours. I think if anything, it's seeing it that's getting to me a bit. I think I need to. So I've taken a week off of work. Ironically, I was supposed to go away next week, but obviously I can't go nowhere because of COVID. So I'm just taking a week off anyway. And I think I'm just gonna delete socials for the week just to see how I feel, because there's too much. You know what I'm saying? There gets to a point where there's too much, and I think I just need to disconnect for a bit and see how I feel this time next week, because every day there's somebody else that's been killed. Every day there's somebody else with an awful opinion on it. So I think instead of working myself up over it, let me just disconnect for a bit.
Yeah.
I personally think that I really agree with Collins about disconnecting from social media. My one is just hard because I get like inquiries on social media as well.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of the things that you see every day and the different stories you hear, like with me, my heart has always been against racism, against all these things that are going on. And you know that Netflix, it was on Netflix, When They See Us, last year. I remember I was so angry, everything under the sun. And now hearing all these other stories, because I've been hearing these stories, seeing them come to light, and still people have their same opinions. They still have their same, racist, systematic way of thinking after these stories. Like, how can it makes me so mad. Like, it makes me it makes me concerned. And yeah, it's getting overwhelming. But one thing that I'm clinging on to is that this change, it may not, even if it hasn't affected a lot of people now, I hope it affects people in the future. I hope it affects people get jobs. I hope it affects how people communicate with each other. I hope there is some type of law that comes out against these things, and they actually stick by it, especially in America. I hope some type of law is made for police officers or against police officers that kill based on race or whatever, because one of the biggest problems is the fact that things are not being done. So I just hope things will start to be done.
Yeah,
God willing, man.
I agree.
God willing.
All right, so Deji, tell the people where they can find you online, all your socials, and how they can get in contact with you.
So my main social is actually just Instagram. You can find me at Deji Rachel, DejiRachel _. And you can email me. My email will be in my bio as well. So that's dejirachel@gmail.com. And yeah, I should really get Twitter, but I don't have Twitter at the moment. But
It's okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, Deji.
Yeah, it's been great. It was a good chat.
It was really nice talking with you guys. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Perfect. Just one question. What school did you go to? You went William Edwards, isn't it?
Yeah, I went William Edwards.
Okay. It was playing in my mind because I was like, we had Gemma on recently, and then she said there was only 2 black girls in William Edwards at the time, or there wasn't a lot of you. So I was like, who was the other one? And then I thought it must have been you.
Yeah, there was only 2, just me and her.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, you don't really deep it because I don't know. You're just so used to that kind of lifestyle. Do you understand?
Yeah, 100%.
There's only primary school. You don't really deep it, and then in the whole school, there was enough of us. There was enough black girls for us to just be in one group. I think like 6 of us, and that's throughout the whole years.
That's insane.
So yeah, it was crazy. It was a time. But that's why I hope things will really come in.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Everyone else, I'll see you guys soon.
Cool. Until next time, lads.
Until next time. Bless, man.